What's up guys and welcome back to Tech Plant. Today I'm going to tell you how I turned my bedroom furniture into more plant racks because I have a problem. First things first, the total cost of this was about 45 bucks I think, so actually not too bad. For the amount of surface area and shelf space I get, it's hard to beat with like a prefab shelving thing. I'll post the schematics on if you guys actually want. Just let me know in the comments if you want to see like kind of what it actually took to build this. The other problem though is there was a fatal flaw. Everything's just bolted on together like in one joint on one spot, so it can pivot and fall over. However, I kind of remedied this situation by just screwing some screws on the very top brace, and that kind of made it nice and stable so it couldn't fall over. Anytime I build something, I just kind of mock it up in some 3D software. I use Tinkercad. It's literally CAD for idiots. I'm an idiot and I was able to figure it out pretty quick, and I just made some basic kind of things just to see how it's going to fit. And as you can see, it's kind of sad when you kind of like see your only domain is like a little bedroom. You kind of see how pathetic you are. But anyways, that's what I use, and like I said, I'll put the schematics up there. I kind of pre-put this thing together outside just because I wanted to make sure I had this thing working before I tore down everything else in my room, because once I do that, I only have a limited amount of time to get my plants kind of under light and back in their like normal situation before I see some sort of adverse effects. It was a little sad to tear this down because this was the start of everything. I mean, this little setup here that I made was like where I put my first few plants, kept everything growing, and then the chaos really ensued from this starting point. But I do want to upgrade because I need a lot more shelf space. This is some extremely old furniture that I've really got a lot of use out of. But the way our house is set up now, it is way too big and no one is really strong enough to carry this thing out. So the only way out is, in pieces. It's sad to see it go, but it served its purpose, and I guess nothing lasts forever. Even though I cut this thing up into 6 pieces, it was still a pain to get outside. It took a lot of like up and down the stairs like all night. I was absolutely beat. It's wild to see so much space in this room. It actually doesn't feel cramped at all. But the only logical conclusion to do with this kind of space is to fill it with more plants. With the help of a family member, I was able to kind of get this constructed. And as you can see, it's pretty simple. I mean, it's just 2x4s with basic cuts and a few holes drilled and then some plywood. If you have a saw and a drill, you can make this entire shelf by yourself and it won't be too expensive. And you can put your own little spin on it, which is what I like about building my own things instead of just buying them. Once I got all my plants on there, I was already shocked at how much space I already used up. Obviously, it's not as compacted, but still, I kind of expected to have a little more room. Lastly, instead of using those really big pink lights that have to have like kind of space above them because they're a little strong, I tried these new lights. So I'll put a link in the description for these. I think it cost me about $50 for 8 of these tubes, but once I cut the shielding off, it gave out quite a bit of light, and I don't think I'll burn my plants, and it's a nice compact setup. So here's the shelf kind of finalized. You know, I cut the shielding off the lights, installed them on the wood. I put 2 per shelf, and then I had some hang out over just so I can kind of light up a floor plant. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the shelf. I mean, I have a lot more space for plants. The things are not packed very tightly, and it's just overall pretty awesome. I do like the white light. It's a little more natural and it doesn't bother my eyes so much, and again, it makes my plants look a lot better, so I really appreciate that of these lights. However, I don't know how well these are going to perform because this is the first time of me using them, and they are not designed for plants. However, I have a good feeling they're going to work well. I've still got quite a bit of organization to do and kind of like restructuring where I put all these plants. It is getting overwhelming, and I also added a few more plants to the collection. Even though I said I didn't have any room, I still went to the dang store and bought some more. I swear it's a sickness. But anyways, my real plan here is to get some space to grow a lot of the same kind of plant. I want to kind of start doing a subscription box type thing based on like propagations that I do. So maybe 1 month I'll have like some pothos and maybe like African violets or just whatever I can produce. It's going to be a small quantity, and I don't know. I just want to kind of share plants with people. It's still in the works, but hopefully I figure something out. Hopefully you can kind of see that this isn't too hard of a project to undertake. I mean, just a saw and a drill, which most households have, you can build a pretty robust shelf for all your plants. And you can mix and match your design and make the shelf smaller, bigger, depending on what kind of plants you like. If you've got some space sitting around that you're not using, or maybe you have too much clothes or too much something, it's pretty easy to donate some stuff to Goodwill to clear up space so you can buy some plants. Alright guys, that's pretty much the end of this video. I hope you appreciate watching kind of the whole construction and deconstruction of the last normal piece of furniture in my room. My room is chaos, and to the outside eye or world, it might look a little weird because there's just a bed and all this plant stuff. However, I do really like all the different colors. They're really cool. Feel like kind of cyberpunk, or like I'm in some sort of madman's lab or something. But anyways, hope you guys appreciate the dedication and effort I'm putting into this channel. With this plant rack, I should be able to produce a lot more plants, come up with a lot more content for you guys. So thanks again for watching and commenting and liking and all the things you do to keep this channel going. And as always, may your plants grow strong and healthy. I'll see you next time.